Wow, what a
The
trunk.
planet Earth or some distant alien planet. These trees seem impossibly huge. Here are the 15 largest trees on planet Earth.
We appreciate the work of Top 5 that made this video. So the premise of the 15 largest trees, starting with the Chihuahua giant.
Tallest tree in Canada. It's near the Chihuahua Lake, which is in the Pacific Rim National Park Reserve on Vancouver Island, and dwarfs everything around.
16,000 cubic feet of wood in one tree. I'm John Valentino, president of John and Bob's. I'm here with Chip Valentino. He's somewhere. Ah, there he is. He liked the video also. I will point out when I am aware of inaccuracies, in which there are some, but the photography is spectacular and the concept is really spectacular. Only one big hole in it is that even though it's the 15 biggest trees in the world, as we go through the list, I discovered that the absolute biggest tree in the world isn't included, and we'll get to that in a second.
Number 14, Wisteria.
So Wisteria, this is a fantastic, amazing example that points out one thing I always point out when we use wisteria in a garden, but I didn't realize they could get to this big. The ones referenced here, there's one covering a half an acre. And what is very notorious of wisteria is the tremendous size and weight of the supporting branches. So it's a mistake to put one in your garden without really heavy support, really good, strong support. Like we did a garden we showed you with a metal arbor. These photos are spectacular, and there are a lot of different cultivars of wisteria available now. Look at that, man.
Number 13, Dorner Fir. The Dorner Fir in Coos County Forest, Oregon is a coastal Douglas fir, and at just over 327 feet tall, it's the tallest known non-redwood tree in the world.
In some cases, they name the actual tree. In other cases, they name the name of the tree. In other words, something they happen to call the tree rather than the species of the tree. This is a Douglas fir, and it's in Oregon, and it has a trunk with a 11.5-foot diameter, which is spectacular. The Douglas fir is an amazing tree visually, really too big for most of our gardens, but if you happen to have the opportunity to stand under one, you will get a special feeling. They have a look unlike almost any other conifer, really kind of a magical tree, Douglas fir. And this Dorner fir is maybe the most famous of this magical species of conifer.
Number 12, Lagoa Christmas Tree. While we all have different trees and shrubs in our backyards, there's one type that unites millions around the world each year, the Christmas tree.
So the whole idea, the charm I see of this video is that we see all these amazing trees, such as this Christmas tree in Rio de Janeiro, and it reminds us of special qualities that we're always trying to get into our own individual living spaces, and you can accomplish that by selecting the right tree in the right place. And these are examples that can inspire us to pick the right tree in the right place. Most of these would be the wrong tree in individual gardens, but can remind us of the amazing qualities of trees.
Number 11, Centurion. Centurion, which is a Eucalyptus regens, is the tallest tree in Australia. It's in southern Tasmania, and at more than 327 feet tall, it's also the largest flowering plant and hardwood tree in the world.
What I found as I watched the video and I looked into some of the examples they give is some of the statistics they give are inaccurate. I'll point some out as we get farther along. Tane Mahuta, that's a famous one that's supposed to have spiritual qualities. People cry when they stand in front of it.
It's named after the Maori forest god and is the largest known kauri tree in the world. It's just under 169 feet tall with a girth of 62 feet, and people travel from far and wide to get their chance to see it for themselves.
I cried when our deodar cedar dropped a branch on our car and crushed it. So that, and if I would have been in the car, I'm sure I wouldn't have. I would have been crying also. From an emotional standpoint, just because of the grandeur of the tree, I haven't had that emotion. But some of them are pretty powerful in their ability to emote feelings.
Number 9, Nemina lagarail mina. Nemina logorrhaeomina is the highest known Tasmanian blue gum tree in the world at 298 feet.
So a number of these spectacular trees are eucalyptus, and they get tall quickly, which is pretty common with eucalyptus. And some of these are amazing eucalyptus, but most eucalyptus aren't good for small gardens. So again, not that good in our cities, not that good in our homes, but in nature, they're spectacular.
The species is, however, highly sought after because its wood is ideal for the use in pulp and the eucalyptic oil that's vital to local economy. But in an effort to combat the felling of century-old trees like this, smaller cultivated crops are used to keep up with demand.
It's a very fast-growing tree that isn't surprising would be among the tallest in the world. I don't know about biggest, but definitely the tallest.
Number 8. Bhutan cypress. Bhutan cypress, which is also often known as Kashmir cypress, is a species of evergreen conifer that's endemic to Bhutan.
So I don't have much to say about the Bhutan cypress, although it is very familiar looking.
They've been known to grow up to 3 times this height. There's currently a claim that one that's growing in the Himalayas is as tall as 312 feet, but its location is secret, and this is yet to be confirmed. Number 7. Sir Vim. Sir Vim, which grows in the Evercreech Forest Reserve in Tasmania, is the world's tallest Manag Gum tree, and is part of a group of similarly tall trees in the region that are collectively known as the White Knights. At just under 300 feet high, it's the tallest of all of them, but the existence of the entire group is a surprise because before their discovery, the species was only regarded as a comparatively small one. Number 6. Juggernaut.
So juggernaut is an example of a tree that's the name of the tree. It's actually a type of coast redwood in California, which is the state tree of California, tallest living thing on earth. Although they misstated here, in the video it says it's 460 feet tall, and I believe this particular tree is more like 309 feet tall, significantly less than 460 feet, but still spectacular. These all occur in parts of California along the coast from Santa Cruz northward. And again, some of these are kept secret because they're valuable, but Juggernaut is not 460 feet tall, but it's a spectacular tree.
Number 5. Yellow Moranti. In the Malaysian state of Sabah on the island of Borneo, researchers have continuously found larger and larger trees during surveys of dense forests. By
Beautiful
using aerial
photography
scanning techniques, they
all
focus
throughout
on a
the whole
specific
video.
species of tree called the yellow Moranti, and in recent years, the record for the tallest has jumped from 288 feet to 308.7 feet in 2016, and then in 2019, they found a new specimen that's a whopping 330.7 feet tall. Number 4. Tennessee treehouse.
So this treehouse in Tennessee is amazing, although it met a sad fate. Built in a white oak and then supported by other trees, actually ended up being like 10,000 square feet of treehouse. Kind of amazing. It ended up being a venue for weddings and such, built by Horace Burgess. Look at it. It's amazing. And a white oak is the home for it. It's really something. Ended up being closed because, as you might imagine, of permitting and safety issues. But for a while, it was used heavily. That's amazing, the cost.
And in October of 2019, a fire raged through it and burned it to a crisp within 15 minutes.
Fire at the famous minister's treehouse off Beehive Lane in Crossville.
I wouldn't endeavor to build a treehouse like that. It seems not a smart thing to do, but I was impressed with that one.
Number 3. Rainbow Eucalyptus.
So number 3 is the most spectacular in the photographs, just amazing, in the trunk, called Rainbow Eucalyptus, native to the Philippines and some other islands around the Philippines. They have been exported out, and they grow in Hawaii, and really amazing, like all eucalyptus. Look at that, man. That is just beautiful. Looks like a watercolor painting. Just like all eucalyptus, they grow fast. Usually, most eucalyptus are pretty messy and also might drop a lot of stuff, so not ideal for our environments that we're going to live in, but excellent in nature. That rainbow eucalyptus is one of my favorites, and I hadn't heard of it. I'm aware of many, many varieties of eucalyptus with interesting flowers and leaves, but I hadn't seen that trunk of the rainbow eucalyptus.
Number 2, Sumamera.
So the Sumamera, the highest in the rainforest. So it's unique because it manages to get 250 feet tall or so in an area that has mostly understory type plants. Whoa! Chip likes that tree. Oh yeah, he's a... Hey, Mr. Chip.
Number 1, Hyperion. The giant redwoods that grow in California are, by some degree, the tallest trees in the world. There are a large number of these giants throughout the state, but one that eclipses the rest is known as Hyperion.
So when we get to number 1, I'm all hyped to hear about the giant sequoia, which is the biggest tree in the world. And instead they introduce us to one called Hyperion, which is again our state tree of California. It's a coast redwood. It is not the biggest tree in the world. It's one of the tallest in the world, but biggest would infer mass, you know. So this one is kept a secret, as many of them are. Inland in the Sierra Nevadas is a forest of the biggest trees in the world, which is the giant sequoia, Sequoia dendron giganteum. No mention of it here. Trees named like General Sherman and General Grant, and those are among the biggest.
And with countless other trees vying for its crown, it's only a matter of time until another giant is found that'll take the title.
We're left really with an inaccurate title here, the 15 biggest trees in the world, and we leave out the absolute biggest, which is giant sequoia. And in California, we have the rare opportunity to see the tallest living thing on Earth, which they give us in this video 2 examples. Hyperion and Juggernaut are the names that have been given those trees, both coast redwoods. The biggest living thing on Earth, and that would be like General Sherman, General Grant in the Sequoia National Park, not too far from where we are actually here in Fresno. And then the other thing that's remarkable, you know, in this video, they talk about these really big trees and reference their amazing age. For instance, Hyperion is estimated at being 600 to 800 years old. Well, here in California, we happen to have the oldest living thing on Earth, definitely the oldest tree on Earth. It's named Methuselah. It is estimated at just under 5,000 years old, and that's on the eastern side of the Sierra Nevadas, the bristlecone pine. That is absolutely incredible when you think about at 5,000 years old what those trees have been through, and in a very harsh climate. So there's no way bristlecone pines would make this list of the biggest trees in the world, because the climates are so harsh that the trees are small and kind of deformed and beaten down by nature, and so they're not big, but they're amazing in their 5,000 years old. So here in California, we've got the oldest, we've got the tallest, we've got the biggest. I just think that's a massive oversight to not include the giant sequoia, the biggest living thing on Earth. That's the one that we build roads through, you know, so you can drive your car through the middle of the tree. But all in all, these trees are amazing. The photography is amazing. You watch this and you get a sense of the wonder and what trees are capable of in inspiring us. I always say they make places special, and when you think about where these occur, they all create different feelings and make those places special. And that's the type of thing that we try to do as we use trees in creating spaces that we're going to live our everyday lives in. We're trying to make them special. This was a different video for us. Let us know if you think there's any merit to it, and if so, maybe you have a video you want me to watch and comment on. Let us know.